So something kind of happened last night. I was in bed and I suddenly heard the alarm go off. And of course, it's pitch black at night. I don't have perimeter lights or anything like that. I only have the van lights. Let me go detangle the cat. And I didn't know what it was at first, so I turned over the engine and turned on the front lights. And I saw my tent in front of the van. So it wasn't an intruder or anything like that. It was the wind. The wind was pretty strong, and it really kind of wrecked the campsite. So I'm going to give you guys a little look at that. So this is my shower tent, of course, and it's flipped over. And I did have tent stakes in there, as well as I had like rocks in the corner to kind of weigh it down, and the wind was just stronger than the tent. I also had ground stakes, which you can see right here, one of them is pulled up, it's even bent. So the weight and it having a bottom kind of kept it from like blowing away. But yeah, this is all over the place. This stuff was underneath my canopy tent. Obviously the wind wasn't going to move those. That's like 50 plus pounds each. So they weren't going anywhere. This stuff kind of didn't really move. It was all kind of under the tent. I think it got more jarred by the tent than anything. Mickey, don't get yourself too tangled. Let me untangle him. And this is basically having a cat on the lead. I'm always looking for where he is, and every once in a while I just have to untangle him. And then sometimes I have to fetch him and untangle the lead and then reclip him. But that's some of the adventures of having the cat. These are the tent weights that were on the corners. You can't see that one very well, so we'll go to this one. And they're still here somewhat. They didn't really go anywhere, but they didn't keep the tent down. Maybe I should have tied the corners to it. I don't know. Here's my chair, which got either knocked or blown over. That was sitting up last night. Of course, my bike fell over. And the funny thing is the bike, which might have caused some of the collision, the bike caught some of the netting that I had on the top of the tent, which is why I think the tent was originally over here last night. It was right because I could see it, but it was still pitch black. Like I wasn't gonna come out in the pitch black, but it was like laying right here in front of the van at one point, and then the wind knocked it all the way over here, where we can find Mickey playing in it. So let's take the netting off the leg. And this thing is basically, it's broken. Like this is bent out of shape. One of those is broken. This is broken. So that's the end of that. It wasn't a phenomenally expensive tent canopy. And I kind of want an awning. Like it's something I've been thinking about and wanting anyway. So maybe this is a reason to buy the awning, because this thing is basically, it's trash. I'm going to have to find a way to fold it up enough to at least drag it and find a place to throw it away when I break camp. But it's dead. It's broken. And that is the end of my tent canopy. Yeah, and this is what everything looks like from the rear. I think the shower tent is okay, but until I set it back up, I won't know for sure. So Mickey's in the van napping, and I have cleaned up the campsite as much as I can. I think both the netting and the canopy tent are definitely a lost cause, but let me show you what everything looks like now. So this is what's left for the canopy tent. I think I'm going to actually have to break it apart more in places just to be able to get it small enough to transport to somewhere where I could actually throw it away. And there are so many branches and such in the netting, like it's really just not worth keeping, which is disappointing because I've used it once. But it wasn't an expensive item and it's just not worth it. So I really have to think about what my sort of next patio canopy situation is going to be. Like I said, I prefer to just get an awning that I could run off the front of the van. But it's an expense and a cost and a lot to consider. For now, I just want to toss this, and it'll just be all you people who complain about how much I carried. Here's one less thing, two less things technically that I'll be carrying. The shower tent is fine. I do have the tent weights on the shower tent now instead. I'm still kind of nervous about it because it has been getting windy and there's really nothing to break up the wind. Like when the wind comes through, it comes through violently. So yeah, but it's standing. It seems to be fine. None of the poles seem bent out of shape. So it should be fine. The problem is the wind blowing forwards or backwards. If it pushes towards the van, the most it's going to do is hit the van, which is totally fine. I have myself set up here to do some exercising while Mickey's napping. So I have like my little device there with my program queued up and the camera I use to record my workouts when I do them. I have went ahead and attached this to the side of the van, and the cable is running into the van to the jackery. So I just decided to just hang that on the side. I only have one now because one of my subscribers actually, her jackery panel that she paid for got damaged. I think it was. I can't remember the full story. And since I got two for free, I just sent her one of mine, so I only have one jackery panel now instead of two, just because, like, I got mine for free, and if I can help out somebody else, especially since I have solar on the roof as well, I'd rather go ahead and help them out, so I only have one instead of two now, and I have it hanging on the front of the van, and the cord is going in the van. I did have it sitting on the ground, but if we do hit windy conditions again, it's more secure here. If I really wanted to be hardcore, sort of when the sun changed position, I would take it to the other side of the van. Obviously, I won't have it mounted like that for travel. My chair is just sitting right here now. I don't know if I'm going to collapse it tonight so that if the wind comes, it doesn't take it, but it's just sitting right here for now. My tire chains don't seem to fit back in the bag they came in, and that's just a bag of straps that I usually have on my roof. And that's an extension cord that I moved so that I could run it outside the van if I needed to, if I wanted to sit out here. And that's my deflated exercise ball and my yoga mat, which I've just stuck behind the chair for now. All that stuff was under the tent. Of course, my weights are over there, and I'll just put them closer to the van tonight before I go to bed. And this is Mickey's tie line right here. It's just screwed into the ground. I have been taking his leads in at night because the sand is making them likely to open, which makes it more likely he'll slip out. So, I take those in and sort of blow those off every night and try to make sure that latches stay working. I do have some boots out here. My bike is leaning against the van for now. I might lay it down or something tonight, just so it doesn't end up getting pushed by other things. That's there. This is all trash I'm going to take with me. It's mostly not food trash. Don't let the bag fool you. It's just like, that's like a can that had like sparkling water in it, and just every day I dump Mickey's litter in here, so it's not really all that appealing. You can see where the litter like missed the bag right there. So that's where we are with our windy campsite disaster. Not much I can do about it. And it's just part of being out here, sometimes natural disasters are going to happen, and you're going to have stuff out that may or may not get damaged. I mean, it can happen when you have a house too. It's just stuff you leave on the porch, and a storm comes by and sort of wrecks it. So life happens, and life happened. I don't know what else to say about it. So it feels weird following up a video like this with a shameless plug, but here's the shameless plug. We are very, very close to 20,000 subscribers, so if you have been enjoying any of my content, please join us and click that subscribe button and help push us forward. Otherwise, thank you to all of my Patreon and YouTube membership supporters. As always, you are so important to keeping this boat afloat. And to everyone who watches videos, hits those like buttons, and leaves comments, you are helping me out with that evil YouTube algorithm. And your contributions in that struggle are equally as important.